Hello everyone. Hope everybody is doing well. In this video, we are starting a new chapter, chapter number 4, chemical bonding. Till class 10th, you have studied what are ionic compounds and ionic bonds. In this chapter, we'll also cover various other kinds of bonds and compounds formation. Also, we'll cover how formal charge is calculated, which is actually the individual charge on various kinds of atoms present in a molecule. So let's begin the journey of the chapter.
So, let us proceed with the explanation part. In this session, we will be covering the topics as listed below: Introduction to chemical bond, types of bonds, ionic bond, covalent bond, and at last we'll cover the calculation of formal charge. Now, we will begin with the explanation related to the molecule formation. The condition for the formation of molecule is that it will be formed if it is more stable. That means it contains lower amount of energy in comparison to the other atoms. So it is the fact that only the electrons which are present in the outermost shell, also called the valence shell of an atom, they are involved in the formation of bonds, and in this entire process, each atom attains a stable electronic configuration of the nearest noble gas. The criteria suggests that every molecule tries to be stable after achieving stable electronic configuration. Now we will try to understand what is a chemical bond. It is actually the force that holds different kinds of atom in order to form a molecule. The next subtopic is octet rule. Atoms of different elements, they take part or participate in the chemical bond formation with the motive to complete their octet, or we can say the attainment of noble gas configuration takes place when the octet rule is followed. As we all know that valence electrons are the electrons which are present in the outermost shell of an atom, and they only take part in the chemical combination in the form of losing or gaining. So let us understand the types of bond. The atoms are involved in the bond formation. These bonds can be metal and non-metallic ionic bond, non-metal and non-metal covalent bond, metal and metal metallic bond, electron deficient molecule or ionic bond, or hydrogen and electronegative elements such as fluorine, oxygen, and nitrogen bonds, specifically called hydrogen bonds. Now let us understand what is ionic bond. It is a kind of bond being formed when a metal atom transfers one or more than one electron to the other atom which is non-metallic in nature. For example, if we take NaCl as the electrovalent compound during ionic bond formation, according to the electronic configuration of sodium, that is 2,8,1, the last electron from the valence shell gets transferred to the chlorine atom. After the bond formation, sodium attains stable electronic configuration of 2,8, as well as chloride Cl- ion also achieves stable configuration on achieving one electron from sodium atom. Likewise, the other example goes magnesium and oxygen. There are two electrons in the outermost shell of magnesium atom which get transferred to the oxygen atom. After the ionic bond formation takes place, magnesium turns into Mg plus 2 and oxygen turns into O minus 2, and both achieves stable configuration of 2, 8. Now we'll try to understand what all are the properties associated with the ionic compound formation. In the solid state, each cation surrounds itself with anions, and each anion surrounds with itself with so many cations. So there can be several number of ions involved in an arrangement called ionic crystals. Also, ionic compounds are good conductors of electricity. They are soluble in polar solvents such as hydrogen chloride, water, etc., but insoluble in non-polar solvents such as organic solvents, ethanol, acetone, etc. They have very high melting and boiling point. Also, they have strong force of attraction between cation and anion, which is also called Coulombic force of attraction. After understanding ionic bond, now we will proceed towards the formation of covalent bond. It is the kind of bond formed between two or more atoms by mutual contribution of sharing of electrons between the two atoms. If the combining atoms are same, the covalent molecule will be called homoatomic. For example, we take hydrogen molecule. The two atoms involved in the formation of hydrogen molecules are same. That means both are hydrogen atoms. So this kind of molecule can be termed as a homoatomic molecule. Now we have taken the other example of a heteroatomic molecule in which two different kinds of atoms are involved in the covalent bond formation. The example is of ammonia molecule NH3. In this molecule, three atoms of hydrogen carrying one electron each gets shared with the 5 electrons of nitrogen atom. So a single bond formation takes place between each hydrogen and nitrogen as the central molecule. After the covalent bond formation takes place, the two electrons are left which are unshared and are also called lone pair of electrons. There is a representation called Lewis representation of simple molecules. Actually, it is a dot structure which can be written with the help of the following steps. First of all, we need to calculate the total number of valence electrons involved in the combination of the atoms. Each anion means addition of one electron, and cations means the ion which is being formed after the removal of one electron. So this gives us the total number of electrons that needs to be distributed. After knowing the chemical symbols of the combining atoms, we will place the shared pair of electrons for the single bond, and the remaining electrons may be occurring in the form of lone pairs or multiple bonds. It is also a point to be noted that octet of each atom must be completed and should achieve stable electronic gas configuration. The next topic is formal charge. It is a concept that in polyatomic ions, where more than one type of atoms are present, the net charge is actually the charge on the ion as a whole, and it is not by particular atom. So, the contribution for the charge is being made for all the atoms in a polyatomic ion. However, charges can be assigned to individual atoms or ions, and these charges are so called formal charges. So, there is a formula for the calculation of formal charge. First of all, we need to calculate the total number of valence electrons in the free atom. The next step is to calculate the total number of non-bonding electrons or the lone pair of electrons. And the last step is to calculate the total number of shared electrons or the bonding electrons. So the formula suggests us to subtract the first two identities, and after subtraction we have to divide the third identity and ultimately subtract it from the answer we have received from the first two subtraction method. After understanding the topic of formal charge and octet rule, now we'll move towards the limitation regarding octet rule. The first limitation: the incomplete octet of central atom illustrates that during the formation of covalent compounds, the central atom has less than 8 electrons. These species are called electron deficient species. For example, lithium, beryllium, and boron, they carry 1, 2, and 3 electrons as valence electrons respectively. Second limitation says that there are some molecules which have odd number of electrons, and in that case the octet rule is not ruled out. It is not applied for all the atoms involved in the bond formation. There are additional drawbacks of octet theory. Some noble gases also combine with oxygen and fluorine for the formation of so many compounds like xenon fluoride, xenon oxyfluoride, etc. This theory also does not explain the shape of the molecule, and it neither gives any explanation about the geometry of the molecule. The last drawback says that it does not give any idea about how much amount of energy is present in a particular molecule and what criteria is responsible for its stability.
So students, so far we have discussed various kinds of properties of ionic compounds as well as covalent compounds. Also we have studied how formal charge is calculated along with the computation of octet rule. So revise the chapter, practice the questions related to this chapter. In later videos, we'll cover the aspects related to bond such as bond length, bond strength, bond enthalpy, etc. Till then, take care and thank you.